back to the channel. Turbo Tristan here. Today we are at Sandown Raceway and we are racing a K-Swap Civic. G'day YouTube, welcome back to the channel. As you've seen by the intro and the thumbnail, we're at the track again today and we're driving the K20 EG Civic. This one has now become a track car because, as many of you know, the OGs to the channel would have seen that this got crashed all up the driver's side by my brother-in-law, who actually owns the car. Along with a friend of mine, Tommy. They built this car together with a whole bunch of parts they had in the garage. And this is what we've got. K20 NA build. It has 144 kilowatts at the wheels. It's a totally stock engine with intake and exhaust and a Honda to tune. We've got the brake upgrade, 5 stud Type R wheels, Project Mu brakes, TN coilovers, white line rear sway bar, a Integra front sway bar, and otherwise it's a pretty standard car, but it is very quick, very rapid, NA build. There's no lag, there's nothing to worry about. It just fires and flies. We've got a Recaro seat, Nardi steering wheel, and a few hybrid goodies on there. So a good little track car. You'll see out on the track today, this thing is surprisingly quick, and you'll be able to see some of the cars that we fly past on the straights. It is a cold day today, so not really trying to break any world records. Last time this car was out, it was either myself or my brother-in-law did 1 minute 32, which is very fast for an NA car. It was closer to 1:33, it was like 1:32.7 or something. If we can go around about that fast again, that'd be great. If we can beat it, even better. But since last time, we've lifted the back of the car up to give it more rake, gave it a bit more clearance in the front, stiffen the front, stiffen the rear. Otherwise it's unchanged. We still haven't finished repairing the bonnet or the headlight, but we've got a cold air intake duct this time, so I've cut that out down the bottom. And the track is live. We're next out, going in Group B today, so that's the second from the slowest. I don't know why, but it's a good thing because I don't like being around the super serious guys, because if I hold them up or get in their road, you just feel bad. So the main thing is to just stay out of everyone else's way, run your own race, and just have fun. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go line up because I'm next.
Well everyone, this video is going to be probably a long and boring one for most of you, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a voiceover. I'll use my best voiceover voice so that you can see what's going through my head while I'm out on the track, and I'll try and make it not too annoying over the top of those sick VTEC sounds. So this is my first session of the day. I've already done 2 laps and just warmed up the tyres a little bit. They're still not properly warm. Something's underneath my feet, and later on I find out that it was actually one of those air fresheners that sits in the cup holder, which I don't even know where that came from.
So loud, man. Let's try and get a drag race with this Mercedes. No?
this is the back straight at Sandown, and you'll see I always back off just here at the top of this crest, because being an EG hatch, the back of the car is very, very light. There's a very short wheelbase and it just wants to spin you around, which you would have just seen in the intro. I actually did spin the car out. I cut out the whole session, which was session 2. Not much happened in that. I spun out. You saw the best bit in the intro.
We don't want to break it in the first session though.
Coming up to, so that's turn 2, turn 3, the next one is turn 4. This is where the Civic actually got crashed into the wall on its first track day. Jumped over and smacked the Pertec wall just there, and that air freshener that I mentioned earlier finally caught it, rolled right under my foot, so I had to back off that lap, let a few cars past, and then back on the chase again. Again, this is what I mean when I say whenever you're thinking that I should be braking or changing gears, it's very difficult to take your hands off the steering wheel on this car, because as soon as you do, it wants to torque steer the opposite way in which you want the car to drive, so not very good. Being a 6-speed, I don't get into 6th gear at all on this track. If it had power steering, I could probably change gears a couple more times in a couple more places, because I could drive with one hand. But yeah, we just don't get into 6th gear. Here we are again, light in the back end. It's very sketchy. I can't explain the feeling. It feels like the back of the car lifts up and sort of floats and starts to come around every single time. I really think that if this car was in a sedan, stripped out race car, and then you add some weight of a roll cage, it would probably be faster. I just think because of the stability through the corners and over that back crest. Up ahead there is a Ford Focus ST. These things are meant to be pretty quick, but as you can see, the K-Swap Civic eats it up pretty quickly. That plus not everyone's the most confident on the track. This could be that person's first or second time. Alright, couple corners to go before we are back out onto the front straight or the main straight. And just here, fourth gear, back to third gear, over the ripple strip. I would have liked to have stayed in third through there and get a better, faster run on to the main straight, but you have to actually change down because trying to fight the steering wheel and the brakes and everything all at once, you don't have time to up and down shift there. So many times I was just a little bit too hard on those gears through there. We were around about 9 grand every time. Bit of limb every gear change. I was nailing limiter 1, 2, boom, shift every single time. I was quite proud of that actually. First time I drove this car on the track, I couldn't even hit fourth gear a lot of the time. It just took a bit of getting used to. For anyone that's thinking about deleting their power steering in their car, do not do it. It's absolutely stupid. Unless you get a manual rack, which is a car that comes factory with no power steering, I do not recommend it. There's actually a dead spot in the wheel. So you turn the steering wheel and nothing happens for a little bit, and then you have to really fight it and turn the steering wheel just a little bit extra than you normally would for it to actually move. So there's another issue. That would have saved me a second for sure. Alright, here we go. A little bit of traffic this time, so something for you guys to have a look at. We're coming up on a Hyundai XL. These were famous for being the cheapest car in Australia for many, many years. As a result, they were quite popular. Twin cam 1.6, not a lot of power, but a great race car. If you're thinking about getting into circuit racing and you can't afford to K-swap your Civic, grab yourself a Hyundai XL and go racing. Not a lot to the car, not a lot to do to it, just have fun. They're certainly not slow, but they're definitely not fast either. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Gemini 355. Rico came down, saw my post, said I was going to be at Sandown, came down to say g'day, have a chat, ended up spending any time I wasn't driving chatting to Rico. So mate, it was great to meet you. Thanks for popping down, thanks for subscribing, and yeah, it was great to meet a subscriber of the channel. So hopefully I put on a good show and inspired you to K-swap your EG, which sounds like is what you're going to be doing anyway. So great meeting you, mate. All the best for your project in the future. So I just let that play for a little bit. As you can see, such a handful. If you get the gear wrong, the timing wrong, the shifting wrong, anything wrong, this car just wants to fight you all the way. And these bumps on the track down here at the end of the straight, I felt like, and it might be an exaggeration, but the car got so light at times when I was doing close to 220 according to the dash, that it felt like the back was just a kite floating along behind me and I was on two wheels, is what it felt like. Very, very sketchy in the back of this Civic. It does have sway bars, it does have Advan tyres, so it can grip. It was just very light with a very short wheelbase, and that just made it very difficult. And yeah, I did just sort of run off the track back there at the end of the straight. I overcooked it trying to overtake that other car. I also felt like I was faster in that downhill section with my EK D Series sedan, just much more stable. I was able to punch it down the hill because the back of the car remained much more settled. So something for you guys to think about when you go into the track, having an EK9 or an EK9 replica or something like that might not always be the best for you and your driving style. So this session is session 3 of the day. My most funnest session. I managed to overtake almost every car in my group throughout the 15 minutes that I was out on track, except for there was a very tough Evo 8 MR and those AMGs. I think I did go past one of them, but there was another one that I didn't come across, couldn't find it. So that and the Evo were probably the only 2 cars that I missed out on lapping or overtaking, so I was on a mission this session. really enjoyed this view looking out the back window. It's like watching it on TV. You see the racing car drivers and how they're setting up. The guy behind's trying to get past the guy in the front. It's a bit more action than just always looking out the front, but that guy in that blue XL had no chance. He was all of probably 50 or 60 kilowatts at the wheels, and I'm at 144, so take nothing away from that little car, it just didn't have the power. We flew past a Commodore as well in that run. This guy, there was a few different sessions where we had a bit of a tussle, which was good fun. Very good steerer and pretty quick car, sounded pretty mint too. I'm not sure what was in it. It wasn't too rumbly, so it could well have been a V6. But yeah, he's either on a cool down lap or there's an issue with his car, because he was nowhere to be seen in this particular sesh. Looks like, yeah, he's on the slow down. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you enjoyed the VTEC sounds. Sorry it's been a little while since my last upload, but I wanted to make sure you had something fun to watch. I've been scraping my pennies together trying to get this K-Swap build finished for you all. Plenty more stuff coming, working behind the scenes to launch the spoolup.com website and also bring more projects to you. The VL's coming, the BMW E30 is coming. Just waiting on time, parts, and always money. Until next time, don't forget to spool up, bring the boost, and we'll see ya in the next video. Cheers.